Hey guys, welcome back. Aquatic Bob's here. We got another video tonight. This is going to be part 2 of cheapest reef tank equipment for the best value that has the best performance. And if you guys like these videos, if you want to keep learning or just be part of this channel, I encourage you and ask you please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. I noticed in the last video a few people gave some thumbs down, which is fine, but I'd like if you would at least maybe let me know why. Maybe there's something I can improve on, or maybe you just disagree, or maybe you have your own thoughts, your own experience or opinion you'd like to share. So again, thumbs down is fine, but please let me know at least. And also just want to do a quick shout out for Triple R Reefer. Triple R Reefer and I have been having some good conversation on the side. He's getting going with his YouTube channel. We're both still pretty small, but he's got a pretty cool tank, some cool videos, some cool DIY videos and everything. So give him a check out, right? And let's promote each other, let's encourage each other, and let's try to be successful together and grow this hobby. So anyways, we'll jump into it. Best reef tank equipment for the price. Last time we talked about wave makers and lighting a little bit. Tonight, the first thing I want to talk about is a protein skimmer. So this guy right here costs 200 bucks. I know what you're thinking. 200 bucks is a lot. Now I could have got one size smaller than this, and when I bought it, it was on sale. It was 20% off, and I think the one size smaller was like 140 bucks. It's the Aquamax Cone S protein skimmer. This thing is a beast. It actually could be on a tank twice this size, and so for 200 bucks, I thought that's a pretty good deal. But there still is better options. Now, I don't recommend going with like Instant Ocean or, you know, some of those really cheap ones where you just put a plastic tube on a pump at the bottom, and I really don't recommend those. They don't work that great and they're really flimsy. This is one area that you might want to consider spending an extra couple dollars. And that being said, I'm also going to say that protein skimmers are not a mandatory. In fact, a lot of people, I think, over skim, which causes nutrient issues like I had in my tank, where the coral started losing color and paling out. And for a while, I really didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand. That coral right there is a great example. Its color is coming back, but almost the whole thing kind of looked like the tips. It all looked like new growth, and it is growing fast. But it wasn't healthy. It wasn't as colorful, and it's still getting more colorful. My nitrates are up to 10. So be careful with the skimmer, and remember, it's not necessary. But if you want to have a heavy stocked tank and you want to have nice SPS and Acropora, I definitely would recommend it to help keep your nutrients stable and in check. And there's a lot of options out there that are still good. I just found one on Amazon the other day. I can't remember what it's called, but it looks just like the professional grade protein skimmers. I was reading a ton of reviews on it, and people are like, this thing works awesome. It does the exact same thing. So it's another reminder that we don't have to spend tons of money on these top of the line products to get the same exact result, right? All that you're paying for, well, I'm not going to say all that you're paying for, that would be wrong, but you're paying a lot more for a brand name, and I'll agree that sometimes customer service can be a little bit better. But man, if you order something off Amazon or if you get a warranty with it, like I've returned so many things and they never ask a question. Sometimes I don't even have to return them and they still refund it. So yeah. Another good tip for protein skimmers is make sure that you clean them out and make sure that they're operating the way that they're supposed to. There's a few little kinks that can come up along the way, like the airline can get blocked off, and that's that little cap thing right there, and on the top. Sometimes that thing is crusted over with salt. One time when my sump flooded, and even when it floods, it only comes up just a little bit higher than my mark here on the glass. But yeah, so keep an eye on that. So let's move along, and the next is another Jabo product. Can you guess what it is? Not everybody has them, but if you want a stable tank, it's a dosing pump. So I got this, another thing off Amazon. I think I paid like 45 bucks for the dosing container, and I was gonna make my own and just do something cheap and simple, but I really liked the measuring things, and I thought, man, this would fit perfectly on my little shelf here that comes out. And so I went with the dosing container. But this is the Jabo DP4 dosing pump. I think it's like 50 or 60 bucks. Again, you guys, man, this thing has never failed me. I've been using it for a couple years. I have a video if you want to get one and you want to learn how to calibrate it. It's super easy, and I would recommend calibrating it, but you still don't have to. I mean, essentially you're still just dialing it in to what your tank uses up and what you need to replenish. And but if you do dial it in, then you can actually measure out how many milliliters per day that you're actually dosing. So yeah, if you want, check out that video on how to program the Jabo DP4 dosing pump. They actually have a Wi-Fi one now too, at I think it's like the same exact price. And they have the DP3, which I ordered. I'm going to be setting it up on my big 500-gallon, 600-gallon system that we're working on up at my dad's right now. And yeah, like I said, it's never failed me. I use it and I use it and every day it does what it's supposed to do. And you can see there it sits. I don't have room under my sump, or it would probably be under there. And so yeah, another great product, Jebao, Jabo. Get it on Amazon. Next is the auto top-off reservoir. I just got this. It's obviously food grade, safe plastic. It's a 2.5 gallon thing. I fill it up every other day just to top it off, make sure that I don't forget. And I think it cost me like 10 bucks. I was looking at some auto top-off reservoirs on Bulk Reef Supply, and they're like 150 bucks. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so painful. They sure don't make it easy for us to be able to have money left over to buy coral. But so yeah, that's just a quick little tip. And auto top-offs. It's hard. That's a hard one to skimp around. I got the Duetto XP Aqua, I think it's called. I bought it for like 90 bucks on sale. So it's not too bad. Some of those can get pretty spendy, pretty expensive. There's not really an easy way to do it yourself because you really need the sensor. And the sensor is what sends signal to the pump to call for water when the water level drops below the sensor. So it's a tough one to DIY. And so let's look next. I'm looking at my list I got over here. Oh yeah, UV sterilizer. This is another good one, you guys. Let me take you out to the front porch here. And can you guess what it is? Jabo CW36. I bought 2 of them for my tank up at my dad's for the 600-gallon system that we're setting up to sell coral out of. And I bought 2 of them. We're gonna plumb them in, and I've used one in the past that I really loved, but I didn't have room for it under this tank and with this system. Again, it's not 100% must-have. I do like it because it helps keep the water really clean, and it helps fight against some of that real nuisance algae, especially when you're starting up your tank. Dinos and some of that I think it's like single cell algae or something. But yeah, so it can be super helpful. I'm gonna set them up on my dad's tank, or at my dad's house. We're gonna get them going. I got 2 of them because it's a lot of water. I probably could have even got 3 of them, but again, we're talking like a fourth, a fifth of the cost. I think I paid like $70 for each one of those, something like that. I can't remember exactly. I ordered so much stuff recently, but I was looking at UV sterilizers on Marine Depot and Bulk Reef Supply and Saltwater Aquarium, and what I would need for that size system would seriously be about $1,000. Not even kidding, $1,000 to run UV sterilizers, where I just spent $150 on both of those. And if I get another one, it'll be 200, let's say 250 tops. And yeah, again, it kind of hurts to think about it, because, and it just seems like robbery. And I know it's not necessarily these companies like Bulk Reef Supply, Saltwater Aquariums, and Marine Depot, which was actually just bought out by Bulk Reef Supply. I know it's not so much them as it's kind of the manufacturers, right? I mean, they're the ones. So I don't know what it costs, but how come Jabo can make all this stuff that is equally good in quality and sell it for most of it a quarter or less of the cost? So if you need a UV sterilizer, check out Jabo, the CWs. I don't know if I would recommend like the outdoor pond ones or the stainless steel ones. I'm not familiar with them. I haven't used them, so I don't want to recommend them. I know some people have done it. You can check into that if you want. But yeah, so let's keep moving along here. Next one is, oh yeah, live rock. You know, when you're first starting up, you can add live rock, which comes with a ton of bacteria on it, beneficial bacteria, but could also come with a lot of hitchhikers, and could come with some nuisance algae, and you know, could come with some pretty bad stuff on there. And I did that with the very first tank I ever set up, and I had a lot of issues, and it was expensive. I think I paid close to like $10 a pound, and it really was kind of a pain in the butt to deal with all that. And later on, every tank since then, I've just bought dry live rock, and it's usually like $2 or $3 a pound. Sometimes your local fish store, you can get leftover pieces, and sometimes they'll maybe even give it to you. But yeah, dry live rock, and then adding bottled bacteria like Biospira or Microbacter Start. The Microbacter Start is really concentrated, works great. So, I mean, even with buying tons of bacteria, and you can buy extra rock and still be under the cost. So, those of you who are setting up new tanks, keep that in mind. Dry live rock, easy to find, easy to get. Make sure it's saltwater safe. You don't want to add something that might leach some metals or contaminants into the water. And so the next one I'm going to talk about is plumbing parts. And I'm probably going to do a part 3 of this, and we're starting to get into some little side stuff, but all this adds up, right? So if you go on to Bulk Reef Supply, I just did this, so I'm going to use this as an example. Go on to Bulk Reef Supply and you buy all the plumbing parts that you need. So I did a 600-gallon setup. Say you cut that in a third or a quarter, and I spent almost $500 on plumbing parts, and that wasn't even everything. And it wasn't everything. I'm returning all of it, every last piece of it, because when I went down to Menards, I was monkeying around with some of the PVC and the elbows and some of the different joints, and you know, I put together some things, and I pretty much built in the store everything that I needed for a successful plumbing job to make it look really good still. And So this isn't like the highest end plumbing job. This was kind of a quick slap together, and I'm not, I haven't done much plumbing on reef tanks, but this came together pretty well, and it doesn't look that bad. And this was super cheap. I, I had my dad pick it up. I can't remember exactly what it cost, but yeah, this was pretty cheap for everything that I needed. And even going down into the sump in the return, I have a plastic tube on that goes from the Jabo return pump up to here, and then it's one of those connector fittings from PVC to plastic that I put on, and that's how I connected it to the PVC, and then put a valve in. And so yeah, even with check valves at Menards, it's kind of like a Home Depot. I know some of you guys might not have a Menards near you, but it's basically like a Home Depot or Lowe's, and big store. And yeah, I monkeyed around and got everything I needed for 80 bucks. So, and that's even with some extra elbows and extra fittings, and then I think I spent another 10 or 12 bucks on the PVC glue, and so I might wind up needing to grab an extra couple parts, but I mean, that's a fifth or a sixth of the cost of what I would be spending. And I get it, you know, some of that stuff looks nice. If you have the extra money and you want to buy it, do it, go ahead. I just want to share some ideas and just get our minds thinking a little bit, right? We want to look for ways to save money so that we can put that money into this coral and be able to take care of them and feed them and enjoy a tank that looks like this and still runs great. Man, I love this tank. I love this hobby. And I love that so many of you guys love it too. It just gets me excited to think about, gets me fired up, and just knowing that I have something to offer, some advice, some experience, and my tank, it really speaks for itself. Each tank speaks for itself. You know, I could sit in front of this tank and not really show you any pictures and just talk the whole time, and you can look at me, but at the end of the day, that's not proving anything really. I mean, but so here I am, so you can see me. Hi guys. I think I've shown myself in a few other videos, but I hope I got myself. I'm just using my cell phone. So there you saw me, and here's my tank. I'm excited to have it. I'm excited to share with you guys. I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I think we're gonna cut it off there. I'll probably do one more video, and maybe I'll try to include some tips and tricks in it as well, and maybe share just a little bit more success. And some of these videos can be kind of difficult. If you've made it this far and you're still listening to me ramble, you're probably just going to listen to the rest of it. But it kind of can get difficult when you're talking about something, and all day I'm thinking, I want to share this, I want to share that, I remember this and that. Then I get to talk, and it's like, dang, I can't remember that. So I tried to write down some notes, and it's hard to even remember with something wrote down right next to me. So I really do take it seriously, and it means a lot to me. And it means a lot to me that you guys are willing to support the channel, support me. I never would have thought that I would have put a video out and within basically a day or two had 1,000 views. That was always just a dream, but you guys are making it real for me, and I feel very blessed by each one of you who participates in this. So thanks again. Any questions, any concerns, any comments, leave it in the comments below. If you have any additional pointers or tips or some success stories from your tank, let me know, let us know, and love to hear about it. If you have any video ideas, let me know as well, and we can look into it. Cool guys, Aquatic Bob's out. See you in the next video.